So we're going to make a roasted salmon, quinoa, and black bean salad. And we're using a neat grain. It's a super grain, quinoa, and we're pairing that with black beans. So together it makes a complete protein. And for added color and flavor, I want to use some salmon. So we're basically making a pasta salad, but it's a quinoa salad, something that can be done ahead of time. Today we're going to present it with a little portion of seared salmon on it. So it could be turned into a small plate, it could be an entree, or without the seared salmon on top, just a simple quinoa black bean salad. So here's our raw ingredients. The first step we need to do is take the quinoa and we're going to rinse it a few times in some cold water. We'll let that soak for a minute. And I want to cook the salmon, so I can cook it ahead of time and cool it and then present it as a small plate. So I have my pan on medium heat, drizzle of olive oil, seasoning with salt at the last second so we don't draw out moisture early and the fish will not stick to the pan. And I'm just not going to disturb it for about 2 to 3 minutes until I've actually got some nice opaque edges, and this will ensure that it doesn't stick to the pan. In the meantime, let's work with the black beans. I take my 2 cups of black beans with my red wine vinegar, seasoning with salt and pepper. And we can just kind of mix that up. This is marinating the beans in some vinegar, give it some flavor. That's one component. Taking a look at our salmon, we'll give this about another 2 minutes. So after I've rinsed the quinoa, I would drain it, and I've already cooked it ahead of time, so let me show you what that looks like. In the recipe, I talk about bringing the water to a boil, adding the quinoa, turning the heat down and covering it. We cook it for 15 minutes. Then I turn the heat off completely, and at this point, you fluff it with a fork, and this is what we have. So the quinoa is nice and cooked, and it should look similar to couscous or fluffy like rice pilaf. We're going to transfer this to a large bowl. Okay, we'll cool this off. We'll add our other ingredients here in a minute, our black beans, and then we'll come back to the salmon. Okay, let's take a look at the salmon. You see how the edges are starting to turn opaque? I haven't touched it yet, but we're going to go ahead and flip the salmon. That's what I'm looking for. This is the kind of the roasted color. You can do this in the oven if you prefer. And I'm going to turn off the heat and let it sit in the pan and let it finish cooking. It'll keep all the moisture in the salmon. Remove that. All right, what I want to do is my beans have been marinating in the vinegar, salt, and pepper. I'm going to drain off some of the excess liquid. And start building my salad. I'm going to add it to my cooled quinoa. And to the quinoa, I'm going to add my diced red onion, my roasted red pepper that's been diced, and I want to work with my pickled jalapeno. So this is going to add a little bit of a zing to the dish. You can use fresh jalapeno if you can't find pickled jalapeno. Basically, we're taking the stems and seeds out. And then we're going to mince it fine and fold it into our salad. Okay, so now that the salmon is cooked and rested, I'm going to crumble it into just chunks that I can then add to the salad. All right, toss this to combine, and then we're going to make a dressing to coat this. The dressing combines olive oil, lime juice, cayenne, and cumin. So let's set this aside and work on our dressing.